Hello, my name is Michael from Inward. I'm a sales recruiter. I have been for 21 years. I get asked this question a lot by candidates, which is how do I earn the big money? Because when you look at some of the briefs that we advertise, some of them are gigantic. You know, I have placed people that have earned £1 million before, and the question always is how do I get to that point? As you can see from my LinkedIn profile, I've got more than 150 recommendations on LinkedIn. I've got more than 10,000 contacts in my phone, and I can tell you pretty much where every single one of those either went right or went wrong. The first thing you've got to think about then is your value. Now, when I'm talking to clients, I always talk about their brief as being a Venn diagram, and I say it's got three parts. I say the first part is technology. Client, what you're looking for from a technology match. The next part is person. Client, what you're looking for from a person match. And just to qualify that, I'm talking about new business or account management or sales leadership or alliance. And then lastly, I'll say, right, client, what do you want from somebody's vertical experience? Which markets do you want somebody to have sold into? And to be clear, some of the tech verticals, some of the person verticals, and some of the vertical verticals have more value than others. The most valuable tech things in that tech circle at the minute where you should be are vogue technologies like AI, low code, BI, analytics, some of the health tech stuff's pretty cool. Anything that brings around a business change and is vogue, and selling into an enterprise end user base. So if you're selling into the legal market, it's just too narrow of an end user vertical for you to have any real value beyond 65k basic. The end users aren't very big, the order values aren't very big, it's not a very big end user vertical. Whereas if you're selling into finance, one of the biggest verticals to sell IT into, that in itself has mass appeal. And really from a vertical perspective, what I'd be thinking about is big end users. So you should be trying to sell, I think personally, into end users where they're 10,000 plus employees. So retail, finance, manufacturing, to a degree public sector, but I'll be careful of some of those public sector niches. And from a personal perspective, it's all about the value you bring. And I will come on to this in the next thing. But actually, if you're a new business salesperson and you work at Microsoft, how much value do you bring versus being a new business salesperson who works for an unknown company that's just entering into the UK market? Personally, I think you bring more value in the second instance, so actually you're going to get paid more in the second instance. And when I've seen people do over the years where they get that £1 million P60 and there's a nice graph on the screen because I'm a former mathematician, and the relationship is the more value you bring and the cooler technology that you sell. And the example I've given here is, you know, some of the guys at Salesforce earn monster money, but actually not really as much as the first guys at Salesforce. Imagine going back to 2002 when you were selling a new paradigm, cloud computing software. I was recruiting then, people didn't know actually what it was, and you're working for a no-name business. How much did those early salespeople at Salesforce earn an absolute king's ransom? Did they deserve to earn it? Of course they did. They were selling a new paradigm for a company that we'd never heard of before. There's steps in terms of building that sales process, I think. The first part for you, if you're a 21-year-old salesperson entering the market, is learn to be a new business salesperson. And I'm not just talking about somebody that sits behind the tech, but actually somebody that's capable of picking up the phone as well. I think in this modern world, if you read the book by Tony Hughes, Tech-Powered Sales, actually there's got to be a combination of the two, but you have to be able to generate leads for your business that they would not have got if you hadn't have worked there. You see, more than likely you're going to sell into the small to medium enterprise space, and actually I think selling a commodity in that first sales role is quite a good way of doing it, because when you're selling a commodity, you're learning to be a salesperson and you're learning to outwit other people with the same solution. Whereas if you sell something that's very specific, so if you sold legal software to lawyers, you know how to sell legal software, but do you actually know how to sell? The next step for you is to become a new business salesperson selling in the enterprise market. Move away from small to medium enterprise, get into the enterprise market. The next thing to do is be a new business salesperson who sells to enterprise that sells something that's business change. So ERP is business change, BPM is business change, photocopies and telecoms and security, they are not business change. Yes, the security guys have had a heyday, but I really think that's coming to an end now. Then you've got to be looking at new business, business change, selling to enterprise, and building a team. So I've got a client that I'm working with at the minute. She joined a European company 5 years ago. She was first feet on the ground. She's left that company with a sales force of 10 that she's left behind her. Lo and behold, she's just jumped into one of the coolest tech companies I've ever seen, managing a team of 30. You've got to have those incremental pieces going all the way up, and I'll cast your mind back to that previous diagram. You've probably got my contact details, that's probably why we're speaking, but as a reminder, they are on the screen.